Hello everyone, welcome to BI Consulting Pro. This is the last episode of Power BI Premium series, and in this episode we are going to discuss about capacity workloads, how capacities function, regional sports, how to monitor your capacities, and much more. If you are interested in this and you want to learn more, please stay tuned with me till the end of this video, and I'm gonna help you out to understand each and everything. So, enough all the talking, let's get started. If you are over here for the very first time, please consider to subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for all the latest updates and videos. As you can see on my screen, there are total 12 topics that we are going to discuss today. In today's video, we are going through each and every of these topics, and please stay tuned with me till the end of this video if you really want to know each of them. Otherwise, you can also use the timeline on this video and you can select and go to the different topics as you like to go. The very first topic comes into this picture is the capacity workload. So I'm sure you are thinking about what is capacity workloads, how it works and all. So let me explain you what is that. Capacity workloads are the services made available to users. By default, Premium and Azure Capacity supports only a dataset workload associated with running Power BI queries. The dataset workload cannot be disabled. However, additionally, workloads can be enabled for AI-related services like you can see on your screen, cognitive services or data flows or paginated reports. These workloads are supported in premium subscription only. So if you have a Power BI Pro license or any other license, that's not gonna work. So only and only if you have Power BI Premium license, it's gonna work. Now, second question come into our mind, if we have this, how we can configure the premium capacities. If you have been on our channel, then recently I have published a new series that is Power BI admin series. In that I have mentioned each and everything, how you can configure your premium capacities, where you can look at them, what are the metrics and all. If you still don't know, I'll provide you link in the description. Please go and check that and start working on that. Each additional workload allows configuring the maximum memory as a percentage of total memory or the total capacity memory that can be used by the workload. Default values for maximum memory are determined by SKUs. SKUs are nothing but your stock keeping units. So generally based on the SKUs, like whether you're going for P1, P2, P3, or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, please check the previous video. That is the video of this Power BI Premium series, video part 2. There I have mentioned the different SKUs and how do they work, what are the capacities, or what are the vCores. Everything you will get to know in that video. You can maximize your capacities available resources by enabling only those additional workloads when they are used. And you can change memory settings only when you have determined default settings aren't meeting your capacity resources requirement. So guys, if your capacity settings requirements by default which Microsoft has enabled you are not working, you can go to your Power BI admin portal, and there under the capacity management you can manage all those settings by yourself. But you should have a very clear idea what you are trying to do over there. That you can do either way, like you can even use the capacities REST APIs if you want to perform anything using the command line, or you can directly go to the admin portal and then there you will find your capacity settings, and over there you can manage them. Well, in this section I'm gonna explain you how these capacities are gonna function and what are the interactive operations or what are the background operations. At all time, whenever you are working using Power BI service, the Power BI service makes the best use of capacity resources while not exceeding limits imposed on the capacity. That means Power BI automatically manage everything, how the users are interacting with your reports or how the background operations are performing over there. Capacity operations are classified as either interactive or background. So there are two types of operations whenever Power BI report is working on Power BI service. Your interactive operations include rendering requests and responding to user interactions. For example, like whenever somebody is doing filtering, Q&A, querying, etc. While background operations include data flows and import model refreshes and dashboard query caching. So those are the two different kinds of operations that actually works whenever any Power BI report is being rendered or something is happening at the background of that report. Over here, it is important to understand that interactive operations are always prioritized over background operations to ensure that best possible user experience. If your user is not going to get their best possible experience, that means there is no use of the background operations, no matter how many models you are refreshing or loading or doing anything. Import models must be fully loaded into memory so they can be queried or refreshed. The Power BI service uses sophisticated algorithm to manage memory usage fairly, but in rare cases, the capacity can be overloaded if there are insufficient resources to meet customers' real-time demands. While it is possible for capacity to store many import models in persistent storage up to 100 TB per premium capacity, not all the models necessarily reside in the memory at the same time. Otherwise, their in-memory data size can easily exceed the capacity memory limit. And that's how you will get out of memory error messages. Beside the memory required to load the datasets, additional memory is needed for execution of the queries and refresh operations. It's not possible for your data model to keep all the models or all the operations at the same time in the memory. And Power BI works on this X velocity engine, which is a memory based engine. So every data has to be in the memory and Power BI has to manage in a smart way. Import models are therefore loaded and removed from the memory according to the usage. So whenever your import models are coming or going, they have to be loaded or removed from your memory so that there is always a sufficient space that your model can retrieve the data or user can interact with the reports and can render the reports without any difficulty. An import model is loaded when it is queried, that is your interactive operation, or if it needs to be refreshed, that is your background operation. So now the question is, what is eviction? Well, the removal of a model from the memory is known as eviction. It is an operation Power BI can perform quickly depending on the size of the model. Now let's talk about the regional spot. When creating a new capacity in Power BI Premium, global administrators and Power BI Premium service administrators can specify a region where workspaces assigned to the capacity will reside. This is known as multi-geo, that means multi-geolocation. With multi-geolocation, organizations can meet data residency requirements by deploying content to data centers in a specific region, even if it's different than the region where the Microsoft 365 subscription resides. Basically, if you want to place your data at a certain location, you can do that using Power BI Premium. But in Power BI Pro, you won't get this kind of facility. So generally, nearer it should be better. So for example, I'm living in Singapore and my data sets is also in the Asia region. It would be better rather than placing it in the US region. So always consider that while working on the Power BI Premium. Now let's talk about the capacity management. Managing premium capacities involve creating or deleting capacities, assigning admins, assigning workspaces, configuring workloads, monitoring and making adjustments to optimize the performance. In my Power BI admin video, I already discussed this and also in previous videos. If you haven't watched those videos, then I request you please go and watch those videos. Global administrators and Power BI service administrators can create premium capacities from available vCores. If you don't know what are the vCores, please check link in the description section. Now let's talk about monitoring. How we can monitor our Power BI premium capacities. Well, that you can do. For that, what you have to do, you have to go again to your capacity settings, click on any of the capacity setting that you have assigned, and once you will click, then you will get two options as you can see on my screen: management and health. And now you can monitor their health, like you will get over here the different statistics like system metrics, CPU utilization, memory usage, and so on. And based on that you can decide what you want to do further. It is automatically managed by the Power BI, but also you can see if you want to assign more capacity to any of the metrics that you have already done that. The Power BI Premium Capacity Metrics app provides the most in-depth information into how your capacities are performing. And that app you can download from the Microsoft App Stores. The app provides a high-level dashboard and more detailed reports as you can see on your screen. From the app's dashboard, you can click Metrics cell to open an in-depth report. Reports provide in-depth metrics and filtering capability to drill down on the most important information you need to keep your capacity running smoothly. So that's how you can manage your all the Power BI Premium capacities using this app, because it's gonna give you all the layout information, which metrics, what is the utilization of that particular capacity, and so on. Now we are going to talk about the large data sets and how to enable them. Well, as I mentioned you during the capacity nodes, that they are the different SKUs like P1, P2, and P3, and P4, and P5. And that also depends on the file size. So generally, if your Power BI desktop file size is less than 3 gigs, then you should use only P1. If it's less than 6 gigs and more than 3 gigs, then you can go to P2. But if your file size is 10 gigs, then you should consider P3, P4, or P5. So those are known as the large data sets because their size is large. That's how we are calling them the large data set files. Now let's see how to enable that. For the first, you have to create a model into your Power BI desktop. If your dataset will become larger and progressively consume more memory, be sure to configure the incremental refresh. If you don't know what is incremental refresh, I have already made a video on that topic, and that video link is in the description or you will find somewhere above. So please click that and check that out, how to set it up. Secondly, publish the model as a dataset to the service. Once you will publish that, then what you have to do, you have to go to your dataset. Under the dataset, you will find settings option, and once you will expand it, then it has to give you the large dataset storage option. So in that setting, you have to check it. That's it. Again, in my previous videos, if you are following us on our channel, I have already explained how to do this in Power BI service. But still, if you have any doubts, you can just mention in the comment section and we would try to help you out ASAP. Now, large dataset storage format. So basically, Power BI provides you two options. How to store these large dataset options. So let's discuss about them. If you enable the large dataset format settings for a dataset, the .pbx file size limitations still apply to the file upload or publish. The upload size limit is unaffected by the large dataset storage format. However, when published to the service, with incremental refresh and large dataset storage format enabled, datasets can grow much larger than these limits. With large dataset storage format, the dataset size is limited only by the Power BI Premium capacity. Now, how to enable this large dataset format? Let me just show you. You have to go to your Power BI Premium workspace. In the Premium workspace settings, you will see a window like this. Over here, the first option would be where you want to reside your Power BI dataset. You can choose the location, and the second option would be default storage format. So there are two options available like I mentioned earlier. One is small dataset storage format and another is large. So when you are expecting your dataset is going to grow more than 10 gigs, because up to 100 TB limit you get in the Power BI Premium per account. So over there you can choose over there the large dataset storage format, and then it's gonna store it automatically and it can allow up to 100 TB of space. Now comes to the incremental refresh. So let's talk about this briefly over here. Basically, in incremental refresh, what happens? We apply certain policy. Like just consider a scenario: you have a data warehouse into your own organization, and over there, you are combining data from all the resources. And after that certain time period, again the new data is coming. So you cannot process or load the whole data again. So rather than that, what you do, only to process the latest data. And in the policy you can define how long previous data you want to upload, like for the last 2 days, 2 months, or 1 year, or something like that, so that you don't need to load all the data again and again. Only the data where you can expect the changes, you are just gonna load that data only. So it would save you a lot of time, a lot of processing, and lot of computing resources, and that's how you can save your cost. Paginated reports and report server. So paginated reports are the pixel perfect reports. If any of you have already worked on the SSRS previously, those are known as paginated reports in Power BI service, and these are a feature of Power BI Premium. But nowadays in Power BI Pro, as a visualization, they are over there. There's a new visualization, paginated reports in Power BI Pro, that you can use it to create these reports. However, as a separate or standalone, these are being used using the Power BI Builder tool and Power BI Report Server. So Power BI Report Server you can buy by two ways. It's gonna come free with your Power BI Premium license. Otherwise, if you have already SQL Server license in your organization, then you can take it as an add-on with software assurance. So that means with SQL Server Enterprise license, you have to pay a bit more money, and you will get software assurance, and in that it's gonna come as a bundle with the SQL Server. So those are the paginated reports when you need the pixel perfect, like Excel kind of formatting, as you can see one of the report on my screen from Microsoft. So that's how you can use those reports. Generally, most of the organizations don't use them, but there are certain organizations who have the requirement to use those pixel perfect reports. They should print exactly in PDF or Excel and so on, so they can use it, and this is what it is. If you would like to know more, please let me know so that I can create more materials on those paginated reports. Now let's talk about the deployment pipelines. I have created a separate video on deployment pipelines. I'll provide you a link in the description section. So please go and check that out. These are nothing, it's just a way to manage your deployments into between dev, test, and production environment. Suppose you have a report which you have just developed. Now you want to push it for testing. So from dev to test, you have to deploy that. Using deployment pipelines, what you will do, you will see the difference between the previous or the new report. If it's completely new, it's not gonna show you any difference. You can just deploy it to test. Users can test it. Again, if they ask you to make some changes, then you have to make some changes. Then you will see the difference between the previous version and the current version. And if you think these are changes are good, you can deploy further and lastly in the production environment. Unlimited content sharing. With Power BI Premium, you get the unlimited content sharing, and by this, it simply says that you just need one Power BI Pro license for the guy who would publish the reports, because without Power BI Pro license, you cannot publish the report in Power BI service. So one Power BI Pro license is required. That is the minimum requirement. However, after that, when it comes to the sharing, within your own organization or with the guest users, you can share your Power BI report to anyone without any license. They should be just in your Active Directory. You can share your report with as many as users you want. I think the limit is 2000, but I'm not sure, so you can check that out. Analysis service in Power BI Premium. I have created one video which was a part of DA100 tutorial. In that video, I explained the XML endpoint connectivity. That means the dataset that you have published into Power BI service, you can perform the read and write operation, updating the records, refresh of that dataset, and much more using your SQL Server Management Studio. So that works basically on the basis of XML endpoint connectivity. And in Power BI Premium, you can create the SQL Server analysis models or Azure Analysis Services models, and then you can publish over there, and later you can manage them with the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Not only this, even after that, if you have to manage your DEXs, measures, or you want to use the tabular editor, there are so many other tools available. You can use them and you can connect with your Power BI Premium dataset. And that's how you are going to manage everything over there. So if you would like to know more, please do let me know. Please join us. You can see all the addresses on your screen now. You can write directly to us using our email address, or you can visit our website as well. Stay tuned for more exciting videos, and don't forget to subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates.